I welcome you from the core of my heart. My subject matter is about the accident of this is especially country, other places of the world. But if you look at Saudi Arabia, that the people of this country are very conscious. There are two sides in this country, one side going, another side coming, and very spacious road. Condition of the road is very satisfactory. If you throw a needle, and it will be easy for yourself to find out it. Number one. Number two, you can especially watch the road of Canada. You can also watch the road of you are getting America. You are also just getting roads of especially Egypt or Egyptian is the country, Brunei, Iraq, Iran, other Muslim dominated countries of the world. Obviously, of course, you are getting that is called Russia. The road of Russia, of course, are a spacious one, but about the pathetic condition of Ukraine is not unknown to you. It is being noticed from the special before it up to this time, the accident of different sections had already increased tremendously. Public car is suffering for various kinds of causes. However, maybe every person shall have to die. None can stay in mundane world forever. But question is that premature death is very pathetic one. And number one, if the person is especially who are facing accident do not die, or especially if death does not come or do not come for them, of course especially they have to stay in mundane world, very pathetic life. Unbearable is the life in relative is especially how long will they was, how long will they take responsibility of that is a person. Man is mortal, woman is not mortal. In course of his time, the person who are victim of this is the case, if he is a poor and pauper, his suffering knows no bound. He will have to suffer is the mass, of course, where is getting costly. Second thing is that is the family member is will be especially that reluctant to this section to take care of this is the person. If he is the only one, if he would have riches, on that is the particular time, of course, the family member is, of course, in what way they will treat is with their particular is the person who faced, justice accident. It is understandable, realizable by us. So all classes of especially vehicle, vessel, etc., who are especially running here and there, this and that, need to be careful is one. You must give importance. They are diverse. The person especially who are unskilled is the divers of this country. Obviously, justice especially you must know traffic rules and regulation. You can study. You can study traffic rules and regulation. On the other hand, the person who are traffic specialists in this section, especially in Bangladesh is the police, staff is and other traffic section, they can also give them, the drivers of this country, training, coaching, teaching, etc., how to perform this task. In developed countries of the world, traffic justice special rules and regulation are discussed, and they are not given license who are not competent. Incompetent is a person in developed countries of the world that they are not given license. But of course, especially law enforcers of this country, it properly. I do not wish to beat any drum. Who are getting licenses in our country? Are they really justice expert in Sagasas? Do they know how to, especially drive their vehicles? Even the person is especially teenage generation, I have noticed especially from various kinds of vehicles, they are especially running, going here and there by dancing and merrymaking on the road. They are teenage students of this country. Either you are a student or non-student, either you are just educated or uneducated, either you are just especially rich or poor, you must give importance of your own life. But if you do not give this thing, obviously pathetic end will come. On that time, you may not get opportunity to read Kalema. However, it might be among the relative of mine in recent, especially in the month of Ramadan, That particular person especially was coming from his office. He is an engineer and contacted with his mother, that he said to his mother, "Mother, prepare iftar, I am coming very soon." But especially this particular young man, handsome young man, was returning. In the meantime, a bus is especially that came over him. But ultimately, this particular engineer was not responsible at all. But some bus drivers of this country, I should share with you one thing: they are drunkard and they drink wine. Not only wine but also they perform various kinds of loathsome task connection, and doing this action their brain cannot work properly. In intoxication manner, they drive especially their cars. I mean, especially that that you are getting trucks, etc., and causing accident. Competition is another cause of person is, I mean, in this country you are getting road accident. Such kind of competition is also seen is especially this and that is in water path by the help of especially vessels. The persons who are especially driving vessels, they are also taking part in competition. Some especially vessel drivers are drunkard, drug addicted, doer of special obscene task connection, whimsically is the life they lead. They do not have education, they do not have any training, coaching, teaching, etc. In this and that way, of course, whimsically they especially do this action. As a result, they bring pathetic end of especially passenger life. Dear vehicle, especially drivers of this country, I should share with you something. Senior and junior, all classes of person of driving section, you must give importance to your especially that is called your own life and lives of other. You are important is the member is to your parents, it is sure, but especially the person or passenger, pedestrians and travelers who are going on the road, they are also important is the person for especially home, for justice, especially his families. A peon is important is a person for his family. On the other hand, a person is who is top ranking industrialist of this country, he is also important is a person for his family. A sweeper is important is a person for his family. On the other hand, especially the person is who are staying in the post of your getting secretariat, he is also important is a person for his family. This and that, of course, where is getting a delivery who is working is in the down to dust to down, in the rain, in the sun, in stormy night, and especially that is called coldest is a night. He is important is a person for his family. On the country, topmost is educated person of the society who has influence, power, position. This and that is he is also important person. For this is reason, for the sake of humanity, I will request especially you all, without training, coaching, teaching, etc. under government, you should not take license to drive. But if you take a license to drive, it will be obviously harmful. Dear students and other justice teenage generation, I have noticed this especially you to drive Honda by dancing. Can you think, can you ask a question is to your brain, to your conscience, to yourself, whether it is good or bad? But especially suppose you are performing this task connection, if another vehicle or vessel will come from opposite side or behind you, what will happen to your life? The person who are merrymaking, dancing, singing, etc. This and that is in public is gathering, where so many vehicles which are going and coming. If you perform this task, of course, and you would not be able to know when especially another vehicle will come in order to attack you. In this and that, a premature end will come before taking your body to hospital. In the meantime, especially the information shall pass the years of your parents that you are no more in mundane world. So what is the benefit of you? Another is the person I have learned that a teenage 13 to 14 years old, and he requested his father, buy me a Honda. Father said, yes, my dear boy, I do not have any objection to buy a Honda for you. But I You must ask your mother whether your mother permit you or not. If your mother permits you, tells me, I shall purchase a special Honda today for you. Then the boy said to his mother, Mother, especially permit his father to purchase this Honda for me. Mother said, You are not matured enough to perform this task. You are lean and thin, especially personality. You are not healthy. Only boy of 12 years, 12 plus. So is it ever possible on the part of you to perform this task? On the other hand, you do not know traffic rules and regulation. The boy waited especially for 6 months. When he became 13 years old, he became a bit tall. A bit tall, of course, he thinks he has become a young man. This boy, of course, especially thought in the way that he has become a young man. Then he told his father, Father, buy me, especially a Honda. If not, special, I shall stop to go to school. If not, I shall not take food. If not, I shall not obey your command. If not, especially that school, I shall go away from leaving this house. Father consulted with his mother and said, What may I do for your son? Can you take me decision? And especially this and that. After it, this particular mother said, In the name of Allah, buy a Honda for him. When especially this Honda was bought in exchange of Taka 2 lakh, the boy's happiness of the boy became boundless, and his father said, Let me drive first day, and you can especially sit beside me. Behind me. Let me just depart from this task. But son said, No, I can easily drive. Please, you may go to your office or you may go to your business center. I may go. But the boy especially started driving, and of course I should share. In the time of his giving sight, he especially that colluded. He colluded with the biggest tray. The Honda turns into many pieces, and the boy is especially breathe his last. So dear teenage generation of this country who are listening my voice, you please especially do not say anything that that is called you should not be obdurate. Tumra jeet corona. You should not be obdurate. Jeet corona. Of course you are getting. To become especially 13 years old boy or girl is tall, we are getting, suppose she has become tall, but is she fit for, is she competent, is she for marriage? No. 13 years especially that is called old boy is tall figure, is a person like a grown up is a man, but is it ever possible on the part of him to control a Honda? No. See, if not then please wait, when especially you will be at least 22 or 25, your muscle power will be strongest 1. You should have especially training, coaching, teaching, etc. about traffic rules. After this and that, consider this matter, whether it is appropriate for you or not. Of course, you can take instruction at your school, with your school teachers, and with your superiors of your locality, with your friends, kith and kin, etc. Whether this should be done by you or not. If not, especially if it is not important for you. So since you are a student of class 7 or 8, why do you need to purchase a Honda? Are you interested to show credit? Are you interested to show that you have become a hero of India or Bangladesh? Are you interested to especially show this and that you know how to drive a Honda? Are you interested to show especially credit with your female classmate of your school that you know how to drive a Honda? Sometimes especially you may carry someone behind you, your classmate. Is it credit for you? Such kind of credit is not accepted by Islam. Obviously you can a grown up person. After this and that you can carry your friend, male friend, not female friend. You must not carry female friend. Of course it is getting male friend you are getting, but when you will get married especially after we crossing 25, by getting a job or established especially service, or you are getting that scholarship especially to was your father's business. If you are being permitted to see from your family, you can especially that scholarship purchase a Honda, but don't wait to get a Honda from your father-in-law's house. Don't wait to get a Honda from your father-in-law's house. Are you beggar? No. Then why will you alms to other person? তুমি কি ভিক্ষুক নাকি? তুমি আরেকজনের কাছে ভিক্ষা কেন চাইবা? Of course, here is special getting. Why it is easy? And if your father willingly wishes to give you something, it is another matter. But by special giving pressure is to your father-in-law, you must not take a Honda from him. Whatever is might be, of course, by getting fullest maturity and especially established person, and you must say your prayer is 5 times. You must perform amul properly, perfectly, adequately. You must especially that is called pass your night through adoration. You must especially perform tahajjud is prayer. You must read the Quran that you is getting. You should follow the basic principle Islam. Both of husband and wife, of course, you should know especially hadith, as Hazrat Aisha knew 7 lakh is the hadith that you is getting. You may read this autobiography of hadith is Bisharot that you are getting. Muslim Sharif you are especially getting. You are also just getting some other is hadith is Bisharot. You are is Imam Bukhari. Read the book, especially autobiography of Imam Bukhari, how he passed his time. He wrote only one hadith. He used to say 2 rakat of prayer in the chant that he passed his 26 years, of course, without his sleeping, and he especially wrote hadith and hadith, hadith and hadith, and he gave wonderful explanation of hadith, interpretation of hadith, proper activation action of hadith that you are getting, dictation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam especially did not take everything with him, and he already kept everything for us that you are getting. Hadith Bisharod, of course, I should share with you something that is called, you may follow their writing, you may follow their autobiography, you may follow the basic principle of Islam, you may follow how to perform your duty and responsibility. You should be obedient to your parents, of course, especially you should not go here and there by that Honda, of course, with your lovers. This is sinful action, of course, it is getting. And in the chant that if you die, God forbid, Khoda na koruk, jodi more jao, through accident, of course, will you get this opportunity to read Kalma at all? Dear readers, learners, listeners, young generations, teenage generation, if you just especially go anywhere with your lover, near the river side, near the pond side, near the beach or this, or just especially garden or something like that, is this and that is with your lovers to pass your time, to get this fresh air, etc., etc. God forbid if death will come in this way because of accident. Is it ever possible on the part of you to especially perform to read kalma, or can you perform your repentation? This is called tawbah. Not. Therefore, it is preferable not to just travel with your lover in this way, but take permission from your parents. If they permit you, get married, and you can especially travel with your wife, especially giving her veil, burqa. Islamic dress should be given, of course, your wife is a person, of course, she is for you, she is for you, she is for you, but you must not display her here and there. She is not the animal of Dhaka jo, Chittagong jo, Rajshahi jo, or Sundarban, or just getting forest of Amazon, African forest you are getting, and forest of Sundarban is something like that. Your wife especially is a human being. You should take full responsibility of her properly and perfectly, or otherwise at the day of Lord judgment you will be just especially criminal, tumi ashami hoye jabe. You can especially, that is called, you should not have, your wife should not have friendship with your friends, because your friend, of course, are your friends, but they are not the friends of your wife. But such kind of ultra-modernity is not accepted Islam that you are getting. For this reason, of course, illicit affair is another crime. Whatever might be, according to law of Islam, Islam has opened every doors, especially for Muslim community, and Islam especially has given us wonderful opportunity to reach our targeted goal. Now, dear students and other personalities, it is sure that especially most of the persons among the listener may not understand my discussion, for not having educated quality and capacity in this language. So, I should share with you something. Obviously, especially, you must not start your love affair with such kind of person whose parents will not marry of their daughter with you. In the meantime, you may commit suicide. But if any hero dies, sometimes it is being watched to see that some teenagers who are over emotional one, they perform is they die, and they think they are going is to their hero and heroines. Is it ever possible? Never possible. And again, the teenage generation, especially who are listening, is my voice. I mean, female generation. You must not start is a love affair with your contemporary or classmate. But your classmate and contemporary, of course, he is burdened for his family. He cannot earn anything. When he needs to purchase a cigarette, of course, he takes his money from the pocket of his mother or father to take cigarette. তোমাদের কি বলছে সেটা হলো তোমার লাভারটা তো একটা সিগারেট যদি কিনে খেতে হয় তাও তো তার বাবার কাছ থেকে নিতে হয়, তাহলে তোমাকে বিয়ে করে কীভাবে তোমার সমস্ত কিছু ভরণ পোষণ চালাবে? Of course, you can ask yourself in this and that you are getting. Life is not a movie, or you should not think life is a cinema. In cinema, just you are noticing is a hero and heroine. They are dancing is merrymaking, singing, going cox bazar, going is here and there, this and that way. Heroine are changing is dresses, different single. Who is decorated is especially fully halfly this and that. She looks like is half necked. Of course, she shows her especially most important is the part of her is the body, including stomach and upper is stomach. In the and that she wears such kind of dress that and this dresses especially indicate is especially what she has. Everything is understandable, but Islam is does dislike such kind of section. What about is she might be? For this series, especially dear students, female students of this country, I have noticed many female students of this country, because of emotion they die. Reason, and especially your classmate is not well established, but when your father will get well established, is a boy, young man, good, gentle, polite, but you may not that is called you get good person. You may get is a bokite. Bokite especially means is a loose moral is a person. Ill-tempered is a person, multicolored is a person, vagabond, uncivilized, barbarized, parental condition is not satisfactory, and there are so many characterless person in there is especially families member. There are so many culprits among their family members. There are so many cheat among their family members, fraudsters among their family members. There may have been especially that senior cheat, junior cheat, national cheat, international cheat. Of course, among their family members, of course, you are just getting. So, if you especially like a person, of course, how can you think that this person will not be a robber? How can you think this person will not be a fraudster? How can you think this person will not be an oppressor, depressor, tormentor? How can you think that he will not demand lot of dowry from your father? Getting dowry, and this particular vagabond husband may be greedy, want to get many things by giving pressure to your parents. On that time, your father will be compelled to sell especially his land and properties to satisfy you, to especially give you this and that. And even if yet your special husband is not satisfied, is whatever he gets, because such kind of person, of course, is obviously needy as well as greedy. Such kind of greedy person should not be your husband. Therefore, before having love affair with another person, please be conscious and conscious. In this and that, especially you should control yourself. You should not be very emotional one like the heroine of especially drama, heroine of movie. Heroine of movie, of course, especially perform this task according to the direction is of director. Director is telling to dance, she is dancing. Director is telling to change dresses, she is changing dresses. Director is telling to do this and that, of course, objectionable is work connection. On that is every time she acts, and without facing any kinds of sense of shame. Without his shame, she is performing this task. But I should share with you something. You are daughter of Muslim family. Your father is a good man, maybe poor. Good man is your mother, says her prayer. Your father also says his prayer is 5 times. Reads the Holy Quran, and especially devoted is to Allah, and especially in this and that they are waiting is for education. They didn't send you to school, college, university to make love affair. They especially send you that place is, of course, in course of time you will come out successfully. After this and that, especially by selecting 10 members of the society, watching their nature characteristics, they will marry you up. Can't you wait? You may wait. Of course, sobure mao phole. If you have species that is called passions, you would be able to justice, especially get reward is that from the court of Almighty. And you should not be restless for marriage you are getting. You should have especially if you marry. তোমরা না বলা শিখবা কলেজে ক্লাসে পড়লে মেয়ে তোমরা না বলা শিখবা যদি না বলা শিখতে পারো হা বলার সুযোগ থাকে আর প্রথমে যদি হা বলে ফেলো আর না বলার সুযোগ থাকবে না যে সমস্ত ছাত্রীরা আমার কথা শুনতেছ তোমরা না বলা শিখবা না বলা শিখলে হা বলার সুযোগ থাকবে আর প্রথমে যদি চেরাগালি দেড় ব্যাটারি বল্টুর সাথে হা বলে ফেলো ও ব্যাটার খুশি নাই জ্ঞান বুদ্ধি কিচ্ছুই নাই আচার ব্যবহার জানে না কথাবার্তা জানে না একজনকে ডাকতেছে আঙ্কেল ভাই কেমন আছেন তুই কী ব্যাপার তুমি আঙ্কেল ভাই ডাকছে বলে আপনি আমার সম্পর্কে আঙ্কেল হন আর লম্বা আমার সমানে যেন ভাই ডাকলাম কী বলে জানো আঙ্কেল ভাই কথা হলো অফকোর্স ইউর ইস গেটিং সাচ কাইন্ড অফ স্পিচিস ভ্যাগাবন্ড ইস আনসিভিলাইজড ইউ শুড নট ইস মেরি দ্যাট ইউর ইস গেটিং আমি আমার ছাত্রীদেরকে বলে থাকি তোমরা বলদ বিয়ে করো না রামসাগল বিয়ে করো না Don't marry Ramsagol or below that you are getting. Marry appropriate is the person. রামসাগলের যদি তুমি গলায় জল তুলে দাও নাঙ্গল চাষ করার জন্য ও বেটা রামসাগল মেয়ে বলে শুয়ে পড়বে বলদকে যদি তুমি যে কোনো কাজ দাও বলদ কোনো কাজই পারে না কিন্তু ফিগার অনেক মোটা বিশাল ফিগার বলদের যদি মানুষ বলদ হয় কোনো লাভ নেই পুরো মেয়ে মানুষ যদি বলদই হয় কোনো লাভ নেই যদি ছেলে মানুষ কি হয় বেটা ছাওয়াল যদি হয় লাভ আসছে বেটা ছাগল যদি হয় লাভ নেই বেটা ছাগি যদি হয় মেয়ে মানুষ যদি হয় ছাগি যদি হয় পশুর ক্ষেত্রে লাভ আসছে আর মেয়ে মানুষ যদি ছাগি হয়ে যায় কোনো লাভ নেই whatever is but be I should share with you something of course there is getting mankind is marry anytime he likes but marriage is preferable in youth wife is especially young man is mistress companion of middle age friend of old age I personally welcome you in front of especially Mama who is taking the class especially with perfect attention and today I could discuss this inshallah near about an hour by the grace of Almighty and from my species I tried my level best to make many students to understand this matter about this matrimonial matter. Marriage is not his children toy man species should think about this matter whether it is right or wrong of course there is getting right and wrong forward upward and forward of course there is getting every nook and corner our young person should think obviously young is the woman should think this matter whether I am just going to be sacrificed or going to be especially get something especially for me whether I am going to be slaughtered by the time or whether I am going to get this reward in this and that they need to be careful especially before selecting they must not do any wrong I should share with you one thing wrong is the root of all unhappiness wrong is the root of all unhappiness wrong is the root of all suffering wrong is the root of all torture all agony etc etc তুমি যদি সফল হতে পারো তোমার সফলতার ভাগ অনেকেই পছন্দ করবে তুমি যদি ব্যর্থ হও তুমি একাই ব্যর্থ হলে তোমার ব্যর্থতার জন্য কেউই তোমার পাশে আসার সম্ভাবনা নেই I should share with you something that you are getting so be successful in life don't damage your future Allah Hafiz thank you all